Hi everyone, Mrs. Clevidence here. We are going to continue with chapter 0. So day 2 is all about linear equations. We are going to start off with some simple linear equations that have to deal with addition and subtraction. So solve each equation. For A, we have x minus 7 is equal to 16. I want to get x by itself. So how do I get rid of a subtraction of 7? I'm going to add 7 on each side. When I do that, those 7's then cancel out, and I'm left with x is equal to 16 plus 7, which is 23. And I can double check that by plugging it back into the equation. Is 23 minus 7 equal to 16? And it is. B, I have m plus 12 is equal to negative 5. I want to get m by itself. So how do I get rid of an addition of 12? I have to subtract 12 from each side. Those 12's then cancel out. So m is equal to negative 5 minus 12, which is negative 17. Once again, if you plug that back in, you can see that you get the correct answer. Finally, C, I have k plus 31 is equal to 10. How do I get rid of the addition of 31? I'm going to do the opposite and subtract 31 from each side. Those then cancel, and k is equal to negative 21. Next, we are going to solve each equation using multiplication and division. So for letter A, I have 4d is equal to 36. So I need to figure out how do I get rid of that 4, that multiplication of 4. Well, I'm going to do the opposite. I'm going to divide by 4 on each side. Those 4's then cancel. So d is equal to 36 divided by 4, which is 9. B, I have negative t divided by 8 is equal to negative 7. I need to figure out how do I get rid of that division of negative 8. Well, we're going to do the opposite. I'm going to multiply each side by negative 8. When I do so, these then cancel. So I'm left with t is equal to positive 56. For the last problem here, I have 2/5 x is equal to negative 8. There are two things you could do here. The first way is that you could actually divide both sides by 2/5. So if you want to do negative 8 divided by 2/5, you will get your answer. A way that I would prefer is I'm going to multiply each side by the reciprocal. Remember, multiplying by the reciprocal is going to get rid of fractions. Well, what is the reciprocal of 2/5? It's going to be 5 over 2, or 5/2. So that means 5/2 times 2/5, that equals 1. So that cancels out, and I'm left with x on this side. So in my calculator, I'm then going to plug in negative 8 times 5/2. And when you do so, you get negative 20. And once again, if you want to double check to make sure your variable is correct, or your answer for your variable, plug it right back into the equation and make sure you have a true solution. These problems are going to be a little bit tougher. We are now moving on to two-step equations. So for A, I have 8q minus 15 is equal to 49. What should I do first here? I'm going to add 15 to each side. Those then cancel, and I'm left with 8q is equal to 49 plus 15 is 64. What am I going to do next? I'm going to divide by 8 on each side, which means Q is equal to 8. And that is my answer. Let's move on to B here. There's a few things we can do first, but what I'm going to do first is I'm going to actually subtract 6y, subtract 6y. I'm going to do that so my variable ends up being positive, because 12y minus 6y is a positive 6y. I have that negative 8 is equal to negative 5. So I want to solve for y and get y by itself. So my next step is going to be adding 8 to each side. When I do that, I end up getting 6y is equal to, positive 3. I almost put negative 3. And then I'm going to divide by 6, divide by 6. So y is equal to 1/2. The last example here, I want to solve for x. So 3 times the quantity x minus 5 is equal to 13. The first thing I want to do here is I want to distribute this 3 to everything inside the parentheses, which gives me 3x minus 15 is equal to 13. What do I do next? I'm going to add 15 to each side. So that ends up giving me 3x is equal to 28. Finally, I still want to get x by itself, so I need to divide by 3, divide by 3. And if I plug 28 divided by 3 in my calculator, I do not get a pretty answer. So x is just going to stay as 28 over 3. And that's my final answer.